The sun is down, the lights are on, and the stars are out, not only in the Colorado sky, but also for GRIDLIFE Alpine Horizon and GRIDLIFE Touring Cup. Welcome back to GRIDLIFE Live. My name is Kyle Heyer, joined by Abram Schmunker for the third GRIDLIFE Touring Cup Series race of the weekend at Pikes Peak International Raceway. The darkness has fallen here. We had a race a little bit earlier in the evening that was also dark, Abe, but now it's completely pitch black. There's a little bit of lighting, but all we're going to see is some LED adorned cars rocketing off into turn one with Justin Kelly starting on pole this time around.
Yep, it's great to be back at race 3, and with the top 10 shootout that happened about 90 minutes ago, had a little bit of shakeup in the race 3 grid order. Justin Kelly's going to have clean track in front of him, and if he gets a great start, I don't think there's anything in his way coming away with a win.
Yeah, so earlier this evening we had our GRIDLIFE Touring Cup top 10 shootout. So the top 10 finishers from race 2 all qualified into position, and that put Justin Kelly out of Nebraska in the Myriad Motorsports 86 up on pole alongside Eric Catil in the number 82 Honda Civic. In row number 2, Andy Smedgard in the number 212 alongside IMSA winner Tom O'Gorman in the number 94. An immense qualifying effort. He's heading out on Falcon tires, and he's a Falcon driver. Abe, he said that the Falcons were the best tires he's had on this weekend, put himself in 4th in qualifying, and he's going to be a super fun driver to watch here when we get going green.
Yeah, definitely outperformed in that top 10 shootout. Way better finish than some of the previous races this weekend. So he should have a really good start and a really good chance to finish well here.
Absolutely. So Tom again on the Falcon tires rolling off in 4th. Row number 3, Stephen Cox in the number 117 C5 Corvette. Sally McNulty in the 780 turbo-powered Honda Civic SI. Bill Griffin, Justin Lee, 7th and 8th. Quincy Burke, Savannah Little, Ryan Upham, and Tiffany Kelly bringing up the rear. So the Kelly's kind of bookending the field on either end here. Justin up front, Tiffany out back. Tiffany, the reigning champion of the Pikes Peak International Raceway weekend at Alpine Horizon in 2019, but with a couple spins in race number 2, she's relegated to the back of the field. So drivers right now warming up their tires. The track has cooled significantly since earlier this afternoon, and that means that you got to get heat in your Hoosiers or your Falcons, whatever your tire of choice is. I think Sally's got some Toyotas on there as well, so some different tire choices throughout the field. We're going to have a full pace lap here to sight the corner stations. It's pretty dark here at Pikes Peak International Raceway, but you see the cyberpunk lights all over the racetrack here on the backside of the course. A beautiful, beautiful facility at night, during the day, all the time, and drivers lining up here for the start of their 3rd race of the weekend. Now, we talked about Andy Smedgard. He's swept both the races so far. He rolls off in 3rd. No one has ever swept an entire weekend in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup. Eric Catil and Aaron Lichty have both gotten close, but Andy Smedgard, if he wins this race, he puts himself in a great position. I just think this is going to be his hardest race of the weekend.
No doubt. I think that Justin Kelly is going to bring the heat in this race.
I think also figuratively, we saw his brakes glowing last night in the braking zones with the racetrack dark, and now we're going to re-rack him, restack him, go racing for a 3rd time this weekend. Our first was Friday night under the lights, then Saturday, which was today. Earlier this evening, we raced at about 5:40 p.m. Mountain Time. Now, just before 10 o'clock on the Mountain Time zone here. About what are we looking at? It's pretty close to midnight on the East Coast right now as we get ready to go racing. Again, GRIDLIFE Touring Cup, a time attack style rule set, wheel-to-wheel racing series that began in 2019, and since then it's amassed large grids in more the hometown region, the Midwest area. Again, this is a little bit far from home for a lot of our folks, but those that have made it out here have explored this beautiful 1.3-mile 9-turn road course located inside the oval that was put here back in 1997 for IndyCar and NASCAR, and now it's a playground for GRIDLIFE Touring Cup, and we're going to see some immense racing tonight. And I really enjoy Eric Catil's sort of period-correct yellowish headlights. I think it makes him stand out amongst all the white out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And looks like GLTC showing a little bit of love to GRIDLIFE photographer Chris Sullivan with his car being chosen to run the night race pace car.
Awesome.
Kind of like a proud father moment for him.
That's really cool. And Chris Sullivan, again, a photographer responsible for a lot of the great pictures that you see from GRIDLIFE events. And you see the lights have extinguished atop that S2000, which means that next time we hit the start-finish line, we are going green. Notice on Tiffany Kelly and Justin Kelly's cars, they have light bars on those cars. They were without any light on the nose of those machines last night, and they found out pretty quick that was not going to work. They've put those lights on these cars, and they should be able to see at least something now.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of an oversight on that event. I think it was darker than anyone expected.
Absolutely. So the field packed up, ready to go racing at Pikes Peak International Raceway. The mountains off in the distance, but we cannot see them. All the focus now is on this 1.3-mile roval in the middle of the Colorado desert. The pace car peels off. Line astern, double file, 5 rows deep. GRIDLIFE Touring Cup from Pikes Peak International Raceway, the 3rd race of the weekend, and we are about to go green. Up in front, Justin Kelly of Myriad Motorsports. Green flag flies, and we're racing, and we're 3 wide already up the inside as we head down towards turn number 1. Smedgard put in the middle. Eric Cattell on the high side. Kelly leads them down onto the NASCAR banking. Fanning out like Blue Angels. They soar through 1 and 2. Now they got to get themselves sorted for the back straightaway and the run down into turn number 4.
Yeah, Andy Smedgard looked like he had a decent start there. It looks like he is battling Cattell with inside line coming into turn 4.
Crucial moment here. If he can clear Cattell, he can set his sights on Kelly out front. He's through and clear. Cattell backs out. He's going to fall in behind. But up the inside, here comes the C5 Corvette. That is Stephen Cox. New driver this way. 3 wide as we head down to turn number 5. Unbelievable move to the outside. Stephen Cox through Smedgard. Puts him on the inside as they head to 5. Cattell in the middle. Still 3 wide as we work our way through 5. Kelly out front. Loving this in the mirror as he accelerates away.
Yeah, great run by Cattell coming through there, being able to make the pass on Smedgard.
And to the inside, Cox climbs the curb. Smedgard buried in traffic right now as they head on through the mid part of the course. Behind them, there's Justin Lee. There is also Savannah Little, Ryan Upham, and Bill Griffin out there scrapping for a fight. But up front, Kelly trying to run away. Cattell has found himself in second. Behind him, Tom O'Gorman struggles to get up onto the banking. He'll fall in line 5th, 6th, 7th as they come through and complete their first lap.
Smedgard dropping a position to Stephen Cox there. He's got a hard battle for the rest of this race if he wants to be perfect this weekend.
Only 1 lap in, a long way to go, but he's sitting in 4th. Now on the back straightaway, can Cattell run down Justin Kelly? He's on the rear bumper now, the S2000 powered FRS. Lights glowing on the noses of these cars. Cattell putting pressure onto the braking zone for turn 3 and 4. Here he comes, a look up the inside of the braking zone. Kelly protects, he hangs on as they make their way through 4.
Great battle here. Really 2 veteran drivers.
Now slideways out of turn 4 into 5. Kelly stays on driver's right. Cattell's going to have to go the long way around. Maybe tuck in, try to cross under here. Who's going to be more aggressive on the curbs? Take the short way around. Cattell hopping and skipping over the inside of 5. Now side by side through turn 6, 7, and 8. Kelly back out front. Hometown hero in the Myriad Motorsports FRS. He hangs on for now. Behind them, look at, here comes Stephen Cox in the C5. Going to bring the V8 5.3 liter right up into the mix with the 4 cylinders.
Smedgard looks like he's struggling a little bit here with Tom O'Gorman looking like he's catching up, making the pass here on the front straight.
O'Gorman's struggling on power, but the Falcon tires under that car helping him through the infield section. He hangs on to 5th place right now as they come and rocket into turn number 1. Cattell hot on the heels, tucked right under the wing of Justin Kelly as they head through turn number 1.
All drivers remaining close here. Decent laps, 104 to 107 from front to back.
Amazingly close competition now. Cattell still hounding Kelly. Kelly offsets to driver's left just to keep Cattell from sending it deep up the inside. Remember that Kelly has ABS, something Cattell does not have. Cattell runs a little bit wide. Here comes Cox. Rear end sliding in that Corvette. He's gotten to the inside of Cattell. Cattell hangs on as the C5 struggles for traction. Cox putting the hammer down. And behind them, look at Tom O'Gorman side by side with Smedgard behind him.
Looking fantastic. The battle between those 2 S2000s, kind of twins. Really, really close competition. An
unbelievable race. The Falcon tires under Tom O'Gorman's car, doing him well in the infield section, but again, struggling on the straightaways. That altitude with that S2000 motor, that's a little bit underpowered for where we are. Smedgard's car prepared just a little bit. It's been more fleshed out than O'Gorman's has, but up in the front, still 2 car lengths. Make it 1, separating the leaders. Behind them, the battle for 3rd has sort of fizzled for now. Deeper in the field, there's a couple cars battling. Can't see who they are because it's pitch black out there, but for the top spot, a car length or less between Kelly and Cattell.
Yeah, what a fantastic battle at the front.
And into the braking zone again for turn 3 and 4. Cattell still there. Will his tires hang on? He struggled in race number 2, keeping the temperature from rising too high in those front Hoosiers as he rumbles right in behind Kelly. He's wide through turn number 4. Can he hang on? Cox trying to come on back, and he's bringing in Smedgard with him, the winner from the first 2 races of the weekend.
Smedgard closing a little bit, not quite enough to make a pass on Cox, but closing the gap for sure.
Sally McNulty dealing with Ryan Upham behind in the number 13, sweeping through the infield section now. Cattell dropping off about 5 car lengths, climbing up on the curbs. You have to be aggressive. Cox is here. His best finish of the weekend, 3rd in race number 1 in the darkness. He ran well, but his tires burned off as well. On streets, we'll see if he can make those tires work for him here in the cooler temps. Climbing the banking again as we complete our 4th lap this time through. Still 2 car lengths separate the top 2.
Kelly definitely in control of this race, looking really composed. No pressure on him. He's looking great.
And in behind him, You see Tom O'Gorman, the lights flashing on that car. In behind Tomo is Sally McNulty, Ryan Upham, Justin Lee, Quincy Burke, Tiffany Kelly, Savannah Little. Tiffany Kelly has not really found a whole lot of pace in this race. She's been unable to move forward. She's still stuck back in 10th. And for the top spot, Justin Kelly starting to stretch the lead here.
So Smedgard running a 1:03.667 on that last lap, faster than everybody else, and faster than the race leader by about half a second. So definitely closing the gap. If he can make the pass on Cox, I imagine he'll be able to close on Cattell and Kelly.
And we still have 10 minutes of racing left. That's plenty of time for Smedgard. He's caught Cox behind him, putting pressure on an engine that's probably twice as large as his. But in the infield section, the S2000 well balanced. It should be able to get on by that thunderous Corvette, shaking the earth here in Colorado. And through their 6 and 7 here, jumping the curbs. O'Gorman following in 5th. If anything happens with these front 4, and climbing the banking again. Up in front, Kelly from Myriad Motorsports. Eric Cattell in the 82. Behind him for 3rd. Here comes Smedgard, drag racing the Corvette down the front straight.
Yeah. Cox taking the high line with Smedgard down underneath, closing, dropping back in right behind Cox, maybe getting a draft here to see if he can go into turn 4.
And again, Cox taking the long way around, trying to carry the momentum. Looks like he's going to hang on for now. The top 2, though, they are nose to tail. Kelly offsets the driver's left, protecting again into the braking zone for 4. Eric Cattell in the front-wheel drive Civic. This car has seen victory 11 times in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup action. What it would mean to get a 12th out in Colorado. It'd be an amazing race for him to grab that. A car that we expected to be at the top of the grid. He's right there. He's knocking on the doorstep of Justin Kelly. Kelly stays protecting on the inside of 5, but he's not going to be able to hold that line all the way through the corner. Runs out wide to the edge of the track.
Yeah, Kelly kind of protecting here a little bit, and it's costing him some race pace, which is closing the gap here with Cattell.
I think what they have to worry about is the yellow S2000 in behind. He's really crowding the C5 of Stephen Cox. They work their way on the oval once again. If Smedgard gets by Cox, it's game on. He'll be there on the tailpipes of Cattell and Kelly in no time.
So Smedgard down underneath Cox again. It looks like this might be the lap where he has him.
And he's got overlap off into turn number 1, but can he carry the momentum off through to the corner? There's a huge bump on the inside of the racetrack that you can avoid if you run the wide line. Smedgard might not feel confident enough to stay down there under full throttle conditions as Cattell, we were a little bit wide at a NASCAR turn 2, and chasing the taillights of that FRS into the braking zone.
So still great battle here between Kelly and Cattell. No let up on pressure.
And Cattell's keeping him honest here, but he's starting to run at a time. We're halfway through this race, and we haven't really seen him take a serious look at Kelly since the drop of the green flag. But Kelly's defense is going to end up being Cattell's great offense here, because he's going to burn those tires off trying to hold that line. Behind him for 3rd, Cox and Smedgard now in a scrap of dogfight for the bottom step on the podium, and they're letting these front 2 get away. So Smedgard's got to complete this pass here fast if he wants any chance at coming and getting his 3rd win of the weekend.
Smedgard continues to run fast laps, but sometimes it's just not enough.
He can run fast laps all he wants, but it's track position that wins you the race. And here he comes again. Maybe even a better launch this time. A bit of a slipstream on the front straight. Here he comes. He's to the quarter panel, to the door. Now fully alongside. He's got overlap, and he leads the way to 3rd place off into turn 1. Side by side, feet between them as they rumble onto the banking here at Pikes Peak International Raceway.
Now the work's cut out for him here. He's got a long way to go to catch up to Cattell.
And he's through.
That lap cost him about a full second overall gap.
Well, he's still the fastest driver on the racetrack. Here comes the C5 way deep up the inside. Can Cox hang on to that line? I don't think he can. Going to try to get this big, heavy Corvette to rotate. He will, but Smedgard still got overlap for turn 5. A drag race for the podium, the bronze, but he wants the gold as he heads down the inside into turn 5. Brake rotors glowing, scrambling to get that car to rotate and beat Cox out of the corner.
Really looking composed here. Looks like Cox is 4 tires off the racing line, trying to hold that line. Just not enough in that car to be able to hold that pass.
And Smedgard is through. You see it's about 15 car lengths now. The top 2 still continue to battle. Smedgard is faster than them on raw pace, but that's a big gap to make up in just about 7 minutes. He's going to give it a try. Tom O'Gorman has reeled in the 117 of Stephen Cox as well. Maybe he can bring that brightly lit LED affixed Honda S2000 right back into this podium fight.
3-second gap now between Smedgard and the leader. That's a substantial margin. Smedgard needs to run qualifying laps or better to be able to close this gap by the end of this race.
Justin Kelly defending. Cattell trying to find a way around. With Kelly defending, it's going to be very difficult for Cattell to do anything here. He can go the long way around, but that's easier said than done. This is what's going to cost both of them the race. If they continue to race like this, if Kelly defends, Smedgard's going to catch these guys way faster than he would if they just cooperated a little bit. But I don't see any cooperation right now with that FRS and the 82 Civic SI chasing each other on the backstretch.
Both cars looking composed in the infield, though. Well, let's see if they just start working together. They can drop some time.
And that yellow S2000, so successful in its early runs in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup. First event at the spring kickoff at Gingerman Raceway in June. Didn't win any races there, ended up blowing a motor, but came out to Autobahn. Battled door-to-door with one of the best, Aaron Lichty, from winning Formula. He won a race that weekend. He's won 2 so far this weekend, and he wants a third. This time by across the line, Smedgaard, a 104.288. It's the quick, not quite as quick as Justin Kelly. Those front two are awful fast right now.
Yep, no real change on the overall gap between those third car and the 1-2 leaders. It's I think this looks like Andy's going to have to settle for third place.
And I think Catil right now, last time by, Justin Kelly was 0.2 quicker. Catil gets into the corner. Is he slow? It seems like he's lost some pace. Is there something wrong with the 82 of Eric Catil? Through turn number 4, it seemed like he either locked up or made a mistake because he's lost some ground to Justin Kelly, who tries to pull away in his FRS. Looks like everything's composed again. He replaced suspension parts on this car after some crash damage in the first race of the weekend, and falling right into the clutches now is Smedgaard.
Yeah, it's a good break for Smedgaard here. Let's see if he has what it takes to make this pass for P2.
Tom O'Gorman on the Falcons closing in on 4th place Stephen Cox. Again, we've talked about O'Gorman's car. It is not quite prepped to the rules, but Tom O'Gorman is well prepped as a race car driver, and he has caught 4th place Stephen Cox. He runs wide, and now it's C5 versus another S2000, another yellow S2000.
White flag for the leader as they cross start finish.
Final lap here in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup. We're going to get the white flag as we come on through. That is, yes, the white flag. So sort of a short race happening here, but Justin Kelly out up front of Eric Catil. I'm not sure if we have a car stop somewhere that might be forcing this race to end a little bit early, but Catil has been chasing Kelly all night long. He's been unable to pass him, and Kelly has now established a sizable lead. There must be an issue with the 82. Here comes Smedgaard, though, chasing Eric Catil, trying to grab that silver position away.
Yeah, that bobble on the last lap cost Catil 2 seconds, and Smedgaard was able to capitalize and now has closed the gap to kind of a nose to tail right here.
Justin Kelly in the 86. He has been so successful in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup with the Myriad Motorsports S2000 powered FRS. He's going to roll on through, and it's been a while for Kelly. We know he's been competitive and up at the front, but lately it's been Aaron Lichty, DJ Alessandrini, Eric Catil. No longer tonight. Victory and a win for Justin Kelly from Myriad Motorsports. He takes the checkered flag in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup.
Looks like Smedgaard was able to finish and make the pass in the infield. Finish P2. Catil will have to settle for third place.
Yeah, so something happened to Catil. He's got problems. He'll drop to bronze and down to the bottom step of the podium. Here's a great battle. This is Upham, and I believe that's the RX-8. That is being driven by Quincy Burke. 2 red cars going at it in the infield here. Let's see how they come out onto the oval. Nose to tail, back to the start finish. I think that's Upham out front as he comes on back to the start finish, and Upham, and a great scrap there for 8th, will cross the line and bring in Quincy Burke. Oh, was that Tiffany Kelly in there? That might have been in there. Right? One of those two. Upham and Kelly, I think, in that order. Quincy Burke just behind.
Fantastic race by Justin Kelly. Just like, beginning to end, high quality, really precise driving.
Perfect execution. He did everything he needed to do, driving protective lines to make it hard for Catil. I'm not sure if it was just tires or a lockup or something mechanical going on with Eric, but that car was fast enough to win this race, and with 2 laps to go, something happened, and he slips to third. Smedgaard, first, and second. No one, and the streak of no one completing a weekend sweep, that will continue here at Pikes Peak International Raceway. The best anyone's ever done is 3 races, and Smedgaard can still do that tomorrow, but it will not be a 4-race win weekend for the 212.
Well, and let's not forget about the rewards weight that's being added to these cars between each race. As drivers finish well, they add some poundage to their cars, and I think Smedgaard probably has about 100 pounds extra at this 3rd race because of his quality finishes so far.
And a track this technical, that extra weight is going to hurt you quite a bit. And we look at Justin Kelly. He's got a handful of wins to his name. Just about 20 starts in this series. Average finish around 8th place. They've had some trouble with reliability in the Myriad Motorsports camp this season, but Kelly has gotten that car back to victory lane for the first time at this event, and puts himself in a great spot to grab some points for tomorrow. That's going to do it for GRIDLIFE Touring Cup race number 3. Aba, you're going to head out for the night. Thanks so much for joining me, and we'll talk to you later.
Always a pleasure.